So both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 consoles have launched, and with this launch we get a bunch of reviews and impressions. So we get to finally see the consoles in the real world where they'll be used the most. Now I'll be honest, I still haven't gotten my consoles because of back orders and both consoles selling out like crazy. But that doesn't mean I haven't been paying attention to the consoles and what others are saying about them. I've seen people praise both of the consoles and talk about how great they're performing and how the games look, and how great games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla look on both of these consoles. But there is this other side of new hardware when it ships, and that's the problems they might encounter. What I mean by that is some consoles might deploy broken or even have little issues that need to be patched out by Sony and Microsoft. With that said, I do have to say that the one console that I see having troubles the most is the PlayStation 5. Now, I'm not saying the console is useless if people can't find workarounds for it, but what's being reported by a massive amount of people is the external drive repair sequence that seems to plague the new console. Now, this isn't a problem that's been happening to a few people. No, this has happened to almost every single person I know that has a PS5 and a lot of people within the gaming YouTube community. Not to mention this issue, along with other issues, have been making the rounds on much bigger YouTube personalities that are reviewing the console. So this issue isn't something that's happening to a few PS5 consoles. Instead, it's been all over social media, and a lot of people are starting to question the console's hardware durability. And it also brings up the question, is the PS5 broken right now? Because while the launch of these consoles has been something we've all been looking forward to for months now, if not years, there's still this shroud of concern from a lot of gamers if they should wait on upgrading until these issues are handled. So let's get into these issues with the PS5 and see if it's truly having a huge problem that Sony didn't tell anyone about, and see if this will have a lasting effect on the console for early adopters that can't wait to get into the next generation. Let's get into this. But first, like always, if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, enough of that. Let's get into some of these problems we've seen from plenty of gamers on social media, along with massive YouTubers that are reviewing the PS5 console. Because while we're all excited for the consoles, these types of reports really does make a lot of gamers a little worried about upgrading to the next generation, which is something that this article starts off by saying here. The unthinkable has happened for unsuspecting YouTuber ACG, as his PlayStation 5 review unit has unexpectedly broken completely due to bizarre storage glitch, leaving only a heavy white and black brick where a next-gen gaming machine once existed. With launch day bringing the first consumer shipments of Sony consoles to players' doors in select November 12th launch countries, this is very early PS5 adopters' worst nightmare come true, and it could be a very ill omen. Now, I know this sounds a little hyperbolic, especially since the person they're talking about is a massive YouTuber who's well respected and plays a bunch of games. So when someone with that much notoriety talks about their console breaking down, a lot of people start to pay attention. And how could we not? If you're like me, you already know everyone's looking at each and every piece of news item when it comes to the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 consoles. But this isn't some freak PS5 breaking down. There's a lot of people reporting the same issues along with other issues that seem to be going around like crazy, which is the warning sign a lot of people are getting with their PS5 once it crashes. It involves the storage within the unit and having to repair it with internal tools that Sony has built into the system, which is what this Twitter post talks about. Seems like putting a PS5 in a rest mode while Spider-Man Remastered is running crashes the whole system, forcing that repair your external drive process when you start back up. At least that's how it's been for me the few times I've done that today. Also, every time I've had the PS5 go through that external drive repair sequence, it ends up on a black screen. I have to hit the power button on the console itself to force it into rest mode. When it comes back up and asks me to file an error report, then boots normally. So right off the bat, this issue is the biggest one I've seen going around the gaming world and all over social media. Now, this person obviously troubleshooted and tested what causes the PS5 to have its storage breakdown and have you repair it. The only thing they talk about is Spider-Man Remastered, where the whole system crashes and it forces the repair your external drive sequence. Now, this isn't something that's only happening when you launch the Spider-Man Remastered on the PS5. No, this is happening to a lot of people from all over the gaming community, be it someone playing Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, or any other game you can think of. This is a system-wide issue, and it's something that Sony has been quiet about and might not be able to stay quiet if the problem spreads further, especially if this problem turns people's system into a completely useless piece of hardware like it happened to ACG, who said he was getting the storage rebuilt issues when the problem got worse. Here's what he had to say. Part 1. At this time, my PS5 is 100% dead. I was having the storage rebuild issues others reported, but mine escalated to full errors and network issues / boot. Sony and I were working through troubleshooting when it died completely. So at this time, I will be moving content around. The problems escalating is what troubles me the most because it shows that the problem could turn into something worse like it did for this person. Now, I'm not saying this will happen to everyone. It hopefully won't happen to anyone else. But the fact that this happened to this person and some others shows it can spread. That's what worries me the most because this issue isn't something on the software side, it's on the hardware side. Usually hard drive issues aren't something that can be patched up and fixed. No, that usually happens with other issues like graphical issues or pop-ins, much like we've seen with the Xbox Series X consoles. There's been a very small number of people talking about the performance of certain games staggering on the console or having some graphical anomalies. That can be patched out rather quickly because it might just need the right drivers or updates to the system that will come out over time. But as for the hard drive needing to restore itself, that's usually a drastic measure for people to fix their systems. I say that because it requires a massive undertaking to the hard drive, because restoring it usually means losing data or damaging the hard drive. Now, of course, this is an SSD hard drive and the biggest selling point for the PS5, which was the crazy fast SSD that was customized, which makes this problem even worse because the biggest selling point of the console is already having problems. And like I've said multiple times already, this isn't something that's happening to a few people. No, this is happening to a lot of people that I know have a PS5, not to mention the massive amount of people on social media that are posting about it. And the article even brings up more people that are having the problem when it says this. Other reviewers such as Giant Bomb's Jeff Gertzman have corroborated PS5 storage building glitch, but ACG's case is the first total console breaking documented as a result of this apparent software and hardware weakness. Gertzman says that similar issues have cropped up for him when putting his PS5 into rest mode while Spider-Man Remastered is running, prompting a system message that reads "Repair your external drive" upon subsequent startup, at which point his console boots normally. That final step may be where his and ACG's experience diverged, and it begs the question of what caused the latter console's complete death spiral. Now, I know some people might be saying I'm overdoing it with this problem, but honestly, I'm not. This problem is coming up from all over the place, and it's not just this problem. There's been glitches in the GPU with graphics on the PS5 where some games just have a bunch of glitches or pop-ins. Now, of course, these aren't the biggest problems because those types of issues can be patched out by the developers and hardware developers of the games and console. So those problems don't worry me because I know they can be handled internally by the teams at Sony. But the hard drive error that's prompting people to repair their console is the most telling problem I've seen, because it truly doesn't bode well for a console that's just getting its footing and truthfully hasn't had the smoothest launch, not to mention the smoothest PR over the last couple of years, which the article brings up here. Despite being the hottest, hopefully not literally, item of the holiday 2020 season, the lead up to PS5's first launch wave tomorrow has not been a completely smooth one. A notorious next-gen pre-launch fiasco amid the situation going on around the world was the result of stunted supply lines, shortages, and customers' inability to pick up a new console in stores on day one for the first time in recent gaming history. At high-profile PS5 game announcement events, Sony made promises it couldn't keep or never meant to make in the first place, and a small but dedicated uproar has mostly recently grown audible after the console manufacturer confirmed that the PS5s won't support 1440p resolutions. However, all of that pales in comparison to players' now realized fears of completely non-functional $500 gaming machines ruining their launch experiences. And this is where I find the article to be the most truthful, because this type of problem not only scares a lot of gamers, but it's also another hit to Sony and their PS5 launch, which hasn't been the best launch I've seen. This launch doesn't even touch the flawless launch of the PS4, where they had the power, price, and superior hardware on their side. That launch really set the tone for the entire generation because Sony came prepared. This time around, I just don't see that. Instead, I see problems arising and things not going their way. All the while, the Xbox Series X launched in a much better state with hardware that will help the console stand out. Does it have problems? Of course, just like any other new piece of hardware, it does have minor problems, but it doesn't even come close to the amount of problems I've been seeing about the PS5. Either way, I hope Sony and Microsoft get to fix their problems, and I truly hope that the PlayStation 5 gets a patch or something to that effect to fix the hardware repairs going around on the PS5. because I want everybody that gets a PS5 to have an enjoyable launch, just like I want to have an enjoyable launch when I get my hands on one. And seeing these problems crop up really does put a damper on it. And it's not just me, it's not just my friends, it's everybody I've seen on social media talking about it and posting videos about it saying, hey, this isn't what I paid $500 for. Let's hope Sony comes together and figures this problem out. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Have you seen the hard drive issues going around? Are you one of the unfortunate ones to get this problem? What other issues have you seen going around for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? Will this make gamers wait to upgrade? What can Sony do to fix their PS5 systems? Which launch do you think went better? Have you gotten a PS5 or Xbox Series X yet? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm playing the new Tetris game that's on Game Pass. I'm actually really addicted to that game. It's a lot of fun, and Tetris is just a classic. You always go back to it and play it, and it's just fun. But I'm also playing a lot of Watch Dogs because honestly, that's the only game I don't mind playing on my Xbox One X. I'm waiting to get my Series X so I could jump into Valhalla and the new Call of Duty. I want to play those games at high fidelity and with amazing frame rates. I cannot wait to get my new systems so I can play my games because I have them all pre-ordered and they're just getting ready to be downloaded. Let's hope that happens. But tell me what you're playing. Go down below. I want to know what everybody's playing. Are you working on your new systems? Are you working through your backlog? Are you playing back compat systems? Or are you deep into Valhalla like I wish I could be? Go down below and let me know. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.